Home. For me, that concept felt dead. At 17, my mother passed away, and nothing felt like home. Things happened, and soon I found myself on my own. The apartment I took residence in after the fact, I named Sanctuary. It was no home. As a third generation Dutch American, my roots are somewhat buried away, and as an independent student, I figured I'd be well into my 30s before I got to see what family remained in the Netherlands, the fragmentation in my genealogy. Luck has it that I was given an unexpected opportunity. Between the encouragement of my family and the generous support of the Julie and Lance Meyerowitz Scholarship, along with the Gilman Scholarship, I was able to participate in a study abroad program in the southernmost city of the Netherlands, Maastricht. It was in this beautiful old city that I would reside for nearly half a year. Not too far away from where I stayed, I met family. I was welcomed with open arms. Generations removed, living on opposite sides of the world, I was given love, and it felt like home. While attending university, I lived at the guest house. With over a dozen students, all of us knew English. However, I was the only native speaker. While I had come from the US, they had come from Turkey, Singapore, Finland, Ecuador, Peru, Hong Kong, Italy, Lithuania, Colombia, and more. On long weekends and holidays, we traveled together, first as strangers, later as friends. I traveled to a dozen countries on my stay. We met locals at restaurants and hostels, took walking tours in nearly every city. I traveled hundreds of miles and saw countless pieces of art. From the warm beaches of Portugal to the Colosseums in Rome to the quaint islands of Copenhagen, we explored. During these travels, I spent the long train rides and cobblestone walks reflecting on what I wanted out of life. The months living with only a suitcase and a small bedroom made me realize I didn't need much to be happy. During my stays and travels around Europe, I learned plenty. Raised in the Midwest, I had to learn how to travel. I learned how to live out of a backpack. I found out that Google Maps doesn't always know the best way around the city. That no matter where you go, there's no better or cheaper breakfast than fruit. Hostels are these things like hotels, but the cheaper dorm versions. I learned how to navigate without the internet and enjoy the peaceful moments. Between the rideshare groups, trains, buses, and Ryanair, pocket change can get you pretty far. Most importantly, I learned that home isn't quite a place, but an idea. In the guest house, we did everything together, friendships that I will forever cherish. I've been called a few names, but I've never been happier than to be called brother. Somehow, far away from where we were raised, we had created a family. I called it home. The most important piece of advice that I can give is go. Travel. If you can make it happen, do it. If you're a student, seriously consider studying abroad. There are costs involved, but know that there are also resources available. Federal scholarships like the Gilman Scholarship, which helped me, exist to help those with financial constraints. There's also plenty of state and school-specific grants available. Keep in mind that most colleges have study abroad offices to help with this process. If your finances are the limiting factor, remember that help is available. Life is short, put on your shoes and have an adventure. And if you're lucky, you might even find a new home.